Sorry to keep you waiting. That was just my attempt to replicate something that's very hard to invoke on an audience. Chalk it up to a willingness to know more. This is hard for any filmmaker to achieve, but when you do, the audience is then sucked into your story. They fully surrendered their mind and thoughts to the storyteller and have allowed them to take their mind on a journey. Yes, a lot of films hold your attention, but how many demand it? Not very many. This man, in the opinion of many filmmakers, reviewers, and common film geeks, referred to as one of the best. This, of course, is Stanley Kubrick, a director that has always seemed ahead of the curve in more ways than one. Let's say 100 years of filmmaking have been able to tell captivating stories through dialogue. How many can show you a story and represent more than 1,000 words in a single frame? This, of course, is only about a handful, but Kubrick belongs in this elite class. After his success with Dr. Strangelove, a satirical look at nuclear conflict due to the Cold War, one could say Kubrick was on top of the world. But, being the boundary pusher, he wanted to make a film that stood out from the rest and be, ironically, a monolith for all films to take pieces from. This, of course, led to the conception of 2001, A Space Odyssey, in 1968. As this film just turns 50, there's been so much that's been said, and yet so much left to be answered with definitive certainty. How many films can say that, after 5 decades and people are still contemplating this film? I won't go into much of the plot of this film, mainly because I believe it's something everyone should go into blind. This is one of those films that reveal new meanings per viewing. If you ask people what the film means or what some of the symbolisms represent in the scenes, I'm sure you'll struggle to find a concurrent answer. I think that's what makes this film so unique. It builds a kind of personal connection with the viewer. It asks you for the answers to the questions it's presenting. It's totally backwards in the way usually films had been made and continue to be made. It's always been the viewer asking questions and the film answering it through conflict and eventually resolution. This movie has conflict, but it definitely lacks in resolution, which may seem like a criticism, but in a strange way it makes it open-ended, and its open-endedness acts as a strength to its value as a piece of film art. Visually, nothing can touch this film. The way it uses bright primary colors and dark shadows to create depth in its scenes is remarkable. Half the time you forget that this is not produced by NASA themselves. The techniques used to create these space shots have been adapted throughout future sci-fi films. Look at this scene. Does this seem familiar? Well, it should. How about this one? Or this one? It's safe to say that 2001 had a massive impact on genre and its film as a whole. It's hard to measure its radius of influence today as well as it would be in the future because of its broad spectrum of innovation. To try and summarize this film in a 10 to 15 minute video is impossible. All I can really say is just experience this film for yourself. Granted, you might feel confused and puzzled by the end, but that's the point. The want to know more doesn't end at the 2 hour and 40-minute mark. It continues on forever, just like the depths of the cosmos. Please, do yourself a favor and watch this masterpiece of American cinema. And by the way,
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.